besties, and welcome back to my channel. This is Jenna's Book Binge and I am Jenna. Today we are going to be starting random number generator chooses how many hours I read for a day. I think I'm going to be doing this either Monday through Thursday or Monday through Friday depending. So just a little insight to my life. I do work a 9 to 5. I am a scientist. So I leave the house probably around a little bit before 8 o'clock. I do have an hour commute to work. And then I'm done at 5, so I don't get home till like 6:30. For this, we're going to be choosing from about 1 hour to 5 hours, because by the time I get home and eat dinner, I don't normally go to bed till like midnight, so I think I can get 5 hours of reading done. Plus, I'm going to be picking the number the day before, so I can do some reading on the way to work and on the way home, because my husband drives, so I can either read on my Kindle or listen to an audiobook. I'm really excited to do this because I have been in a reading slump. Now, for those of you that may know and have watched this channel, I have basically been in a reading slump since May, which is not good. I cannot sit down and read. My attention span's horrible, so I'm trying to stay off my phone, and if I give myself a goal to read for a certain amount of hours, I feel like I'll hit that. I'm going to be reading some books off of my fall TBR, and I'm thinking that I'm between two books right now. I don't know which one I'm going to start, but today is Sunday. If I didn't mention that. So today's Sunday, so we're going to be choosing the number of hours that I'm reading for Monday today, so I can use my time in the morning as well, because I don't think I have time to film before work. I might get up early and try to film for you guys before work, but we will see how the week goes. But the two books that I'm debating on starting off with are either Caraval, because I'm in the mood for more of a fantasy, something in-depth with world building and really intricate characters, because I have been reading witchy rom-coms for like the past week. If you watch my cozy reading vlog video, which I will link down below in the description, and also put a little, I think I should be able to put a little banner up here. I was reading those in my cozy reading vlog, and I kind of just want something that I actually need my brain to read. So I want something more in-depth and thought-provoking, and something with a good magic system. So I'm hoping that will be Caraval. Or I'm going to be finishing I Was a Teenage Slasher, because I really want to figure out what happens in this one. And when I was reading it in the first place, I was actually reading it pretty quickly. So I want to try to get as much reading done in this week as I possibly can, so I can get into a better flow with reading, read more, and also get through a lot of my fall books for you guys, so you can see what I'm thinking on these. So I don't know which one I'm going to be choosing. I'm going to be reading some this afternoon, but I'm not going to be recording this because it's not in this video. But I will share my thoughts when I do read either of these tomorrow, so I don't know which one I want to read. Also, from my last video, I did a mini book haul when I went to Barnes & Noble, and one of the books I got was Annihilation, so I just wanted to let you know I will be adding this to my fall TBR as well. So I just typed in random number generator, and I think this is the one that everyone uses on Google. It looks like this. You put in the minimum and the maximum, so the minimum is 1 and the maximum is 5. I'm just going to do this with you guys on here, so I'm going to hit generate. Okay, we got 2 for tomorrow. I like that because it's very doable, and for a Monday, I'm normally exhausted after work on a Monday, so I'm actually very excited. So I've set it for 2 hours, and I will start that tomorrow when I start reading. I will try to grab some clips for you guys if I wind up reading in the morning in the car, so I'll try to grab some clips of that. But for the rest of the day, I am going to be editing the cozy reading vlog that is going to go up on Tuesday. So I'm going to go edit that, and then I'm probably going to start one of these 2 books, and then I will give you my thoughts tomorrow when I read. I might post a poll on my Instagram story, so you guys can choose whether I start Caraval or finish I Was a Teenage Slasher, because I really cannot decide right now. And I feel like when I can't decide, I want you guys to decide. So I'm probably going to be putting a poll up on Instagram, and then tomorrow, whatever you see me reading is what won the poll. So I will check back in with you guys tomorrow when I start and do my 2 hours of reading time. But until then, I will be off. Hi guys, it's Monday and the first day of this reading challenge, and I'm about to start reading. So I put some polls up on Instagram for the physical book that I was going to start reading, and that was between Caraval and I Was a Teenage Slasher and Caraval one. So I'm going to be starting this as my physical read, and then I put a poll up on both Bookstagram and on YouTube, and that was for my Kindle read. That was between 3 books, and those 3 books were Pumpkin Spice and Not So Nice, Nocticadia, and Phantasma. It was kind of between just a fall rom-com and then 2 more dark academia, not really romanticies, but dark academia, atmospheric like books. Timer set for 2 hours, so I'm going to start reading, and I will give you guys an update maybe halfway through, and then I'll give you guys an update at the end, and then we can generate a new number for tomorrow to see how many hours I'll read tomorrow. I will see you guys in a little bit. Hello, I just finished my 2 hours of reading and I had the best time. I got to page 81 of Caraval, and this is such a magical book. I feel like I'm in a mixture between Beauty and the Beast and Alice in Wonderland, and this book basically feels like you're in a fun house in the best way possible. So I'm going to try to explain how I felt about it in the best way possible. So basically we have Donatella and Scarlet and their 2 sisters, and they are on this island with an abusive father. Ever since their mother left them, Scarlet has written to this master legend of Caraval every year, and in hopes that Caraval would either come to them or they'd be able to go to Caraval. And as soon as she said she was getting married, he sent over an invitation that invited her, her sister, and her fiance to Caraval. And now Caraval, we don't know much about it. It's basically just this place that's like a magical performance, and her grandma used to tell her a tale of this man called Legend that created Caraval, and I won't go into any detail because I don't want to give anything away. But that's the general basis. I'm loving it so far. The writing is so whimsical. Like I said, I basically feel like I'm in Alice in Wonderland. When they go to this island that Caraval is on, it's so magical the way they describe the shops. They're like, they called them little hat boxes, and like they came out of a storybook, and they went into a clock shop, and it was like basically what you'd expect a clock shop to look like in Alice in Wonderland or in some kind of whimsical fairy tale storybook. And the guy that like owns the shop or whatever, he looks like a clock. So it reminded me of Cogsworth from Beauty and the Beast, so that's where I got like the Beauty and the Beast part from. But it's so magical. I already love the world building going on because we actually have like an established kind of world slash government where there's like these different conquered isles, and there's different like places that these people come from, and there's wealth and power that's talked about in regards to the dad, and then they all have like different accents based on like where you come from. So there's already some like intricate world building going on, and I like the kind of magic system we got that is in regards to Legend. But I won't say anything because I don't want to do any spoilers. But this book is addicting. I already want to keep reading and binging it, but I'm gonna hold off on this until I do my hours of reading tomorrow. And then I think when I'm in bed and not reading for this challenge right now, I'm gonna be reading Phantasma. And if I finish this book this week with the hours I need to do reading, then I'm going to pick up and continue on with Phantasma. So I'm very excited. This is literally so addicting. I am almost wondering if I'm gonna have to binge this series because I haven't gotten this feeling in a while. Like, it's giving me that feeling that ACOTAR gave me, and I don't know if it's because I haven't picked up a magical fantasy in a while. So I'm really excited that I'm feeling this way about a book again. and I can't wait to keep reading more. Now I'm going to randomly generate another number to see how many hours I will be reading for day 2 of this challenge. I have a little visitor. Okay, so again, I set the minimum and maximum. So minimum is 1, maximum is 4. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. So I'm going to hit generate, and you guys can see what number I get. Okay, so that's 1. So I'll be reading for 1 hour tomorrow. I'm actually a little sad about that, but that's okay, because I can always read a little bit more than what the challenge says, so it's okay. But I am going to be editing for the rest of the night and just relaxing and reading some of Phantasma at night. So I will see you tomorrow for day 2 of the challenge. Hello friends, and welcome to day 2 of this vlog. So yesterday when I generated a random number, I got 1 hour, so I'll be reading for 1 hour today. I gave you my update of what I thought last time on this book, so I am just going to set my timer to 1 hour and we're gonna get reading, and I will probably update you probably halfway through, and then I'll update you again when I'm done reading. So we're gonna set the timer to 1 hour. I think you can see that. And I will press go and we'll get going. Okay, I finished with my 1 hour of reading and I got to page 122. So I think I literally read 40 pages, which is perfect. That's what I wanted to do. So I got to the next part, which is night 1 of Caraval. So in the book, they have a reversed time system. So they do everything at night and they like sleep during the day. Night 1 of Caraval is actually like the first day that they're like doing stuff. It is just so whimsical. The things that are happening are so amazing. I am literally in love with the magic of this. It's just like, imagine going to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory and also Alice in Wonderland, where things are happening that you're not understanding and like your eyes are fooling you and you have to like determine whether you should trust this person or not. So they tell you like not to get swept too far into the game and don't let your eyes or anybody else deceive you. It's basically just like a little trickster thing, so that's why it reminds me of Willy Wonka, because it's like he was like tricking the kids into like, you know, chewing the bubble gum or like falling into the like chocolate river. And then Alice in Wonderland, like they tell her to eat and drink stuff, and so that's kind of like the flow of this. It's like she's in this game now and there are such hardcore rules, but I think the people in the game, like the performers, are trying to like fool her so she doesn't win, or they're trying to just trick her. I don't know. She cannot find her sister right now, and we don't know what's going on with Julian, but people keep giving him weird looks and they're like suspicious of him, and she's suspicious of him, and he keeps like lying to her. So we don't know what's going on with that, and we don't know the point of the game. We don't know how anything works, and she just basically keeps using like the fact that she's Master Legend's special guest as like a tool to like help her get through the game more. So I really have no idea where this is going. I know the back of the book says that her sister was taken and like that's the goal for her to find her, but I don't know how that's like coming about yet. So like I said, I made it to page 122, which is chapter 13. So very whimsical and fun. I'm really having a great time. Like I said, basically Willy Wonka and Alice in Wonderland, which are two of my favorite things because it's just that like ridiculous kind of whimsy where everything's like so absurd and magical and like you know it can't be real. So I'm gonna pull up the random number generator again and we're going to generate a number for day 3. We're gonna generate 2 hours again. Ooh. I'm actually very happy with 2 hours. I can get another like 80-ish pages read, so then I'll be to about page 200, which will get me halfway through the book. Hopefully we get a bigger number for the rest of the days that I do. Tomorrow will be day 3, so I think I might do either 4 or 5 days. Join me tomorrow for some more reading because it is currently almost 11 o'clock and I'm tired. So I'm going to head to bed and I will see you guys tomorrow for day 3. Hello babes and welcome to day 3 of this reading challenge. We are still on Caraval and we did not get that far in. I'm only like, I think I said I was a quarter of the way through last night. So I'm gonna have to speed it up a little bit. I'm only reading for 2 hours tonight because I rolled or random number generated last night and it gave me 2 hours. So I will be setting my timer, sitting down and reading for 2 hours tonight. I never want to put this book down, but I've been just saving it for like this reading challenge when I'm sitting and actually reading for the timer. I might do a little extra reading tonight depending on what I'm doing or like what I wind up doing, because I do want to at least finish a book in here for you guys. So I'm going to try to finish this one in this vlog and give you my full thoughts. I'm going to set the timer and we are going to get to reading. She's set and ready to go. So let's start her up and get going. And welcome to day 4 of this reading challenge. Last night I didn't give an update because I wound up reading really late, so I was really tired, so I just went to bed after I finished reading. So I'll give my thoughts on what I read last night and then we'll randomly generate a number for today and then we'll get to reading. I have a salted caramel latte with me and my little mermaid koozie, which I have to get like a Halloween inspired one because this one's too summery. So I wound up reading more than the like allotted time last night, so I read for the 2 hours and then I continued the book because I was addicted. I almost wanted to stay up and finish this entire thing, which I haven't felt that feeling in so long, and I also haven't felt the feeling where I feel like I'm going to end this book and want to go right into the second one and finish this trilogy, and that makes me so excited. Last night I started on page 122 and I made it to page 240. So I got a lot of reading done and it was literally addicting and I couldn't put it down. So we have Scarlett, she's on this island looking for her sister and she has this partner Julian who she knows nothing about. So basically right now Scarlett's trying to find her sister. She's trying to interact with this world that has crazy magic. Like she drank a potion and it took like her color vision away, so she was only seeing in black and white. And it's funny because this is like true magic like we think about it normally, and it's like all magic has a price, so you pay like the price for using that magic. And knowledge is power in this book, because if you like want to trade something, you trade information for something. Like Scarlett had to buy these dresses and she had to trade her biggest fear, and she also had to trade information on her greatest desire. So knowledge is power in this book, and I'm really liking that. It's so interesting to think about. Not only is she discovering things about her family, she's also trying to navigate her feelings for Julian, and she's trying to navigate who Julian is, and she's also trying to figure out who Legend is. I love Scarlett. She is definitely a badass character, and she is just that right amount of reckless but also careful, because she knows when she needs to let go and just like embrace what's happening. I'm really interested to see where this goes. There are a lot of like little small mysteries that are unraveling. It's reminding me of like pulling a string, and then it's going faster and unraveling faster as we go farther into the book. I'm excited to discover all of its secrets, and the whole premise of Caraval is just so interesting, and the things that are happening are literally crazy, and I love it because I've said it before and I'll say it again. This book is like the epitome of like whimsical, and I just love all the magic going on because it makes no sense, but it does, because again, they're using the knowledge to pay for it, and then so that's kind of like giving a piece of yourself away that someone else can use against you, and you become vulnerable. And we just discovered something between two of like the more main characters, and we're like starting to get to the point of the book with like, who do we trust, who do we not trust, who are these people actually? So I'm really excited, so I can't wait to read some more, and I'm hoping I finish this book in this vlog. I think I will, because I'm going to be reading today, and then I'm going to skip tomorrow, which is Saturday, because I have a lot going on, and then I think I'm going to do this again on Sunday, so that'll be day 5 of this, and I think that'll get us to the end of this book and possibly starting another book, which might be the next one in this series. So I set it from 1 to 4, so let's generate 2. Okay, I was kind of hoping for that because I definitely don't think I can get 4 hours of reading done today, but 2 is perfect. I've been reading like 80 or so pages when I read for 2 hours. And again, if I get to a really good part, I'm just going to continue reading because this book's making me so excited. I think I'm going to wind up, when I'm done with this one, making like a Pinterest board. So I'm hoping I can put it in this video, and then you guys can see like what I imagined everything as. Like the descriptions are so good in this book, and it all makes sense. Like sometimes it's hard to describe things that like would never exist in real life, but I feel like Stephanie Garber is doing like the best job, because she was describing this one castle and it like looked like a bird cage, and it was like gilded, and there were bridges and arches, and like I could just see it in my head, and like that makes me so happy when an author is so good at describing things that you can picture it. I'm going to continue reading, and I will catch you guys after I read for 2 hours. Welcome to day 5. I think it's day 5. Welcome to day 5 of this reading challenge. I have a sleepy bean behind me. She's so relaxed because I'm home all day today. And it is currently the first day of fall, so I'm very excited. And please ignore any background music you hear. My husband is currently painting our bedroom, so that's going on not too far away from me. But I never got to update you on Friday on how much I read and my thoughts about what I read, because we had to leave for a comedy show that we went to go see. So I read for more than the 2 hours because I was trying to finish the book, because it got to a point where I couldn't put it down until I literally had to. So I got to page 352. So things are unraveling from where I started to where I ended up. And where I am now, we've hit like the peak of the action, I guess, and like 2 devastating things have happened, and I'm so sad. I know that like at least one of them or both of them are going to be fixed, because it is a YA book with magic, so I am not trying not to be too devastated with what's happening. But remember how I said like it was unraveling like a string? Now it's completely unraveled and crazy things have happened. It is still so whimsical, but it definitely took a more dark, like macabre turn. Like I know like whimsical things can turn macabre, so that's like kind of where it went, and it has like a darker message now, which I'm enjoying for a YA book. Also, I want to talk a little bit about the romance in this, because I actually am loving it, because obviously there's no spice because it's a YA romance, but I'm really liking that, you know, Stephanie Garber is creating this tension that's still there between the 2 main characters, without there needing to be any spice or really any intimacy at all. It's kind of just been more of this like forced proximity, like need to stick together for this game to figure out where her sister is. So Julian kind of has his own motives that he's like working with throughout the story that we're not aware of, and we finally wound up figuring out what those are, kind of. But you also see that he does actually care for Scarlet. I'm really enjoying this like dynamic that they have between them, because it is kind of like bantery, but they're also like both helping each other. Like she's helping him become the good person he wants to be, and he's helping her become this more independent person who doesn't feel guilt about her sister and her mother and her father, and who like worries about her own needs rather than worrying about her sister first. And also things start to kind of like become more clear about her fiance. Things start to unravel there as well. So I'm not going to say much because I don't want to spoil this, but also I'm really loving the, like I said many times, I love like the magic that's in this, because it's so intriguing, like the little clues and like how Scarlet takes them and interprets them and kind of follows her instincts, I guess, and then how the magic is used in this book. I think it's very interesting because it's kind of like more of like a trap door kind of magic and less like Harry Potter magic. Like it's just very like whimsical magic that you'd use or see at like a carnival or like a fun house, like more like illusions than anything. I am now going to generate a number, see how long we're going to read for today. I'm obviously going to finish this book. I only have 40 pages left. And then I believe I'm going to start Phantasma on my Kindle, and I'll read that for the remainder of the time that I generate. And then I'll probably interrupt, give my thoughts on Caraval, start Phantasma, and then we're going to end this vlog. So this will be the last day of this reading challenge, and I'm actually happy with the amount that I've read because I got like pretty small numbers for the hours. Like I only got like 1 or 2 hours. I haven't gotten over that. And I'm kind of hoping that I get a little more today, like 3 or 4 hours, just because it's a Sunday and I don't really have anything to do. So I'm going to be reading for the day anyway. Every day I've read more than the allotted hours because this book was so good. And I'm thinking about jumping right into Legendary or like my next physical read, and then reading Phantasma as my Kindle read. So let me get up the number generator and we can pick a number for today. So again, we're gonna do 1 to 4 hours. Okay, so we got 3 hours. I'm very happy because I actually wanted to read a little more today and get this done and then start reading a chunk of Phantasma, which I will probably wind up reading faster because it's on the Kindle and I can get all comfy while I'm reading. And I have my comfy cozy little blanket that I won at a tricky tray yesterday. And it says pumpkin spice and everything nice. And it has little pumpkin spice lattes and pumpkins and cake pops all over it. So I'm obsessed. And then I'm boring today. I just have a caramel latte. I'll be setting up my timer for 3 hours. Here we go. We've got 3 hours and we're going to start that baby and get to reading. Hello, I am back with some hot chocolate and I have finished Caraval. I'm thoroughly obsessed with this. I will be thinking about this for forever. So that being said, my rating is going to be between a 4.5 and a 4.75. I started like to get that 5-star feeling in the beginning, but then towards the end, I don't know if it just felt a little too YA typical for me, so I decided between a 4.5 and a 4.75. So let's talk about it a little bit. This book reminds me of just like one giant magic trick, and it was very whimsical, fairy tale-like, that fairy tale wonder, but with like a dark twist. The main characters were enjoyable. The female main character was very strong, very powerful, very smart, and she never let like anything get her down, and she always had hope, and I thought she was very well rounded. And the male main character, he was fine. His whole thing was like he was a mystery, so that was what kept his kind of character going. So he was just a mystery basically the entire time. And it's funny because like it says, remember, it's only a game. So that comes hugely into play at the end. Like I said, two major things happened, and I don't think that they used that typical like, let me cry over you and my tears will heal you. It was more of like, this was all an illusion, and like, here's what actually happened, and things were being manipulated behind the scenes and before we even saw anything. So things were being manipulated by different people all throughout, and it ended on a cliffhanger. So I'm excited to start Legendary, but I'm not going to be starting Legendary in this vlog. I think I'm going to do like a finishing the Caraval series reading vlog or something like that. Don't hold me to it because I'm not sure yet, but I'll be jumping into Legendary as my next physical read. But right now I still have 2 hours left of reading after this, and I'm going to be picking up Phantasma, which is on my Kindle. Now this one, I'm not like too sure what it's about, but I know that it's a dark fantasy romance, and there's like a bunch of creatures in it, because in the beginning it gives you like this entire creature guide. So there's a hierarchy of paranormal beings. So I think it's in like a paranormal dark fantasy romance. So there's like devils, demons, wraiths, vampires, shapeshifters, ghosts, necromancers, witches, and then a whole bunch of like things that are tangents off of those main categories of beings, I guess. And I have no idea what this is about. So I'll be starting this and reading this for the next 2 hours. So I should get to anywhere between the 80 to 100 page mark, because I read faster on my Kindle than I do in a regular book, because I can get more comfy and like lay down and read and, you know, not have to hold the book and flip the pages. So I read faster on my Kindle. But I am so happy. I thoroughly enjoyed Caraval. That is going to be probably a very beloved series to me once I continue reading. And then I'm going to go into the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, and I already know, but that's probably going to top Caraval, like, and end this entire series. 1 hour and 54 minutes left, so I will be reading for another 2 hours. It's already 10 o'clock at night, but that's okay. I wound up taking a nap before and got caught up in some other stuff, so that's why I didn't like really read in the afternoon. Hello besties. So last night I accidentally fell asleep. As soon as my timer went off, I fell asleep on the couch. So I only wound up reading about like 50 pages of Phantasma because I was so exhausted. I was reading so slow. So I had to keep rereading pages, and it just took me a while. So I only got to about 50 pages in the like little under 2 hours that I had left, but I am loving it so far. So I wound up going to read the synopsis because I had no idea where this book was going, and I wanted a little bit more of an idea of like what I was getting into. So it's basically like Caraval, and I'm obsessed because I just finished Caraval, loved it. So this is more of like a dark fantasy, I guess, like Caraval. It said Caraval mixed with something else, I can't remember. So basically, there are these two sisters, Ophelia and Genevieve. They're in a family of like necromancers, and so there's a lot going on with like the dead and like very gothic, creepy things going on. And they live in this place called the Grim Manor, which is their last name. Something happens where Ophelia comes into like these new powers, and you learn that like Ophelia was the sister that was going to inherit the powers. So she was the one that was kept secluded and had to learn about all these macabre things, so she never was able to make friends. So Genevieve is the social one. They go to do something, and Genevieve like meets her friends, and Ophelia's like, something is wrong. So they're always told not to like go out in New Orleans at night. They end up home, and that's kind of like where I got, not too far. It's really just still the setup of the story. So I'm really liking the characters so far. Ophelia seems a little bit woe is me right now and kind of like, oh, I'm the older sister. I'm the one that needs to have the burden and be in charge and not live my life because I need to carry on these family traditions. And Genevieve is more the like wild, free-spirited one because she was able to do what she wanted when she was younger. So I read the synopsis and it basically says that the manor that they lived in, I guess the mother took out like a loan or something. She needed money. So now they have like this huge debt on the house. So Genevieve enters into Phantasma, which is like a competition where you enter this house and it has like moving rooms and like puzzles and all this stuff. And so Ophelia has to go to protect Genevieve. So it's giving Scarlet and Donatella all over again. And it's giving Caraval because of like the mansion has like moving rooms and stuff. And we're just starting to hear about this like super famous guy and how he like would never last one day in Phantasma. And all I know is that Ophelia meets someone in Phantasma and like falls in love. So it's basically like Caraval but dark. It has creatures like necromancers, witches, devils, demons, stuff like that, and it's set in New Orleans instead of like a made-up world. So it's kind of like set in our world. So I'm really excited so far. I'm loving it. The main character, Ophelia, has a really good OCD rep. So I have OCD if you guys didn't know. And I think the rep in this is so good. I think it would be really good for anybody that's trying to learn about OCD. So basically Ophelia has to like knock on wood 3 times in a certain pattern and a certain cadence in order for her to be okay. And like she calls it the shadow voice, which is just like her intrusive thoughts. And I really liked that. And they basically, like, that shadow voice makes her feel like she needs to do things or else she's gonna die or something's gonna happen to her sister. So far, OCD is represented really well because that actually happens in people with OCD. So I am genuinely feeling seen and I really like that. So if you're ever wondering what OCD is like, read the first 30 to 50 pages of this book and you'll find out. But I'm excited to see where this story goes, and I'm also excited to see Ophelia fall in love and come out of her comfort zone. That's my update for Phantasma, and I will be continuing this book, and I'm also going to be starting Legendary, I believe. But this is the end of this vlog. I did 5 days of generating hours to read for the day, and I had such a good time. I started and finished Caraval, and then I got to about 50 pages in Phantasma, and that's only because I was getting such small numbers, only like an hour or 2 of reading each day. I only got 3 hours the last day. We never got 4 hours. I hope you guys don't care that I only finished 1 book in this video, but it was a really good book, and I had such a great time, and I'm starting another really good one. I believe I'm going to be starting or finishing the Caraval series vlog maybe tomorrow when I start Legendary, but I haven't decided yet. But thank you for watching this video. If you made it this far, please leave like a top hat and a magic wand for Caraval, something that is reminiscent of magic and like the carnival. Again, thank you for watching and thank you for all of your support. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and comment down below. Let me know what you're currently reading for your September/October reads, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!